St. Edward's Secondary School is a public Catholic secondary school in Freetown, and since its inception in 1922, it has remained one of the country's most prestigious schools. While St. Edward's is designed to be an all-male school, female students were permitted to enroll as A-level candidates. It has its motto, Diri Genus in Veritate, meaning lead us to the truth. This year's anniversary is like none other, as they will be celebrating its 100th year anniversary, making it a proud centenarian in the congregation of its peers. To talk to us more about the celebration and the endowment movement, we have in the studios of Old Edwardian, Felix Sandi, who is the chairperson of St. Edward's $1 Million Endowment Outreach Team. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, why $1 Million Endowment Fund, and how is it going to work?
Well, before I even get started, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Edwardians on the ground, that, as you wisely mentioned, that have put together a fantastic celebration that we're here celebrating our 100 years. And I also want to thank all Edwardians from around the globe that made the choice to be down here to celebrate and give thanks for the inheritance that we received in the name of St. Edward's. Yes, why $1 million? Well, it's very simple. I am an educator in the United States, and I've raised 3 children in the United States, where today I have one in medical school as we speak, I have one in graduate school, and I have one undergrad attending the best universities in the United States. Why do I mention this? I mention this because their education individually will cost me $60,000 a year per child. I would not be sitting here if I had to pay $60,000 per child. However, in the United States, universities are financed through their alumni in the form of an endowment.
Okay.
The best universities try to bring in the best students who have a history of not only doing well in the classroom, but also have a history of giving back.
No.
And when you come to school, if you have a history, they'll give you in, and then they'll give you the education. And they'll give you the education for free, in most cases, or very, very, very highly discounted. But the goal is, while they're educating you, they continue the training of giving back to when you become an alumni. You become part of the people that give back to the school. So it is sustainable. My children are going to school for free. All of them. And that's the same thing we want to bring into our schools here. We want to make sure we love our school, we love our identity. We want to make sure we put together a sustainable program that can sustain itself over the next 100 years. We came out here to say it's about time we come to a rebirth of St. Edward's. Initially, our school was given to us by the Catholic Mission, and they financed everything, and they financed it through the Catholic Endowment.
Okay.
That finance has been cut off. Now, alumni who are beneficiaries of that initial endowment, where we had that fantastic world-class schools, have decided now they're going to come together and raise $1 million over the next 5 years at $200,000 a year, wherein the return on the investments, because this money is going to be invested in 1,500 companies in the United States, where the return on the investment will be used to address prioritized programs in the school to make St. Edward's not only the best school in Sierra Leone, but eventually the best in West Africa, and finally
So
the goal of being the best in the continent.
The money you put is going to be reinvested in companies in the United States.
Yes, we have like JP Morgan Chase, those are investment firms that do school endowments. For instance, I will mention this. The biggest school endowment we have in the United States is that of Harvard University.
Okay.
Harvard University has $53 billion in their endowment fund. I say again, $53 billion. This is what alumni have been doing in giving back.
Okay.
And then it's invested, and then they utilize return on investments to 19 programs, extend the school, get the school bigger, better, and grow the school, and also create opportunities for the young.
Okay, so there are three main things in this endowment.
Yes.
There's a physical infrastructure, there's a faculty development, and administrative and operational standards.
Yes.
But for your faculty development specifically, you focus mainly on teachers. So what is that, and how do you want to do that? That your focus is mainly on teachers for this part?
Well, as you talk to Edwardians across the nation, especially our alumni, we pride ourselves on having attended a school that had great teachers. Because we know outside of the home, the second most people, the group of people that young people spend the most amount of time or influence their lives the most are that of teachers. Our teachers need to be appreciated. They need to be appreciated, but they also need to be trained. And I don't know if today we can say we have the training that will give our teachers the possibility to be the best teachers in the world. What we plan to do here is not only train our teachers here, but also create exchange programs where our teachers can go overseas and meet with teachers on the other side to see, as the world moves, you ensure that your country or your schools are moving in the direction the world is going. So we want to ensure that our teachers are well paid. We want to ensure that teachers love going to work by creating an environment for them where they know they can come and be able to be teachers. They already have a lot of responsibilities in their hand to direct and lead the next generation. So their working environment should be right. The tools that they need to teach should be right. As an educator, I usually tell my students, when you come in my class, I have a goal for you. And we have to make sure our goals match. I'm here to provide you the tools and the guidance for you to be able to build the life that you desire. I am here to provide for you with the tools and the guidance for you to develop the life that you desire. I don't think our teachers here have the tools. They might have it in their mind to provide the guidance. But guidance goes with tools. You have to have the tools. So we want to make sure we provide them the tools and the motivation to the teachers. Make it easy for them to do the work. And when they're at work, we want to make sure that their working environment is right. We want to make sure they're well paid. We want to make sure they're paid on time.
Okay, so even though government pays them, you're going to give them, ensure that there's something extra for them.
Absolutely. We have to have teacher initiatives that will motivate teachers to be even better teachers.
Okay. So that part talks about renovate, revitalize, upgrade, plus, rehabilitate, and all, of course, or again, adding athletic fields.
Yes.
So what are you planning to do in the athletic fields part of it?
Well, I and most Edwardians will tell you, we are Maypac Saints. The name Maypac was given to our school by one of our founding fathers, the Reverend Father Mokai, who was the one who purchased that land. He purchased it in the month of May. And he said he wants a park-like atmosphere where students can come and be students in the classroom and out of the classroom. So he gave us soccer fields. He gave us tennis courts. He gave us volleyball courts. There was an auditorium where students can be students. He gave us upstairs where it was an orchestra room. He gave us a stage. He gave us all the tools where students can come in and be able to be students. That's our identity. That identity seems to be dissipating and disappearing. And part of our identity, and there's no sitting here right now to tell you that, well, maybe it's okay for me to say it because it's an objective statement. I am a two-time Olympian, and I'm also the Sierra Leone record holder in the 400 meters. A record that's been here for 35 years. Even our kids who live in the United States have not been able to touch it. That goes to the best schools out there, have not been able to touch it. But where did that come from? It came from somebody who had the foresight to say, I am going to give students a field where they can go out and become students. Growing up in St. Edwards was the only school that had a cricket batting cage. St. Edwards was the only school that had a track. Not only did we have a track, we had a soccer field. It was all green. We had equipment, hurdles. We had all kinds of soccer balls, all kinds of tennis balls, cricket equipment. That was what they saw for us 50, 60, 70 years ago. That inheritance should have been the exponents today, but it has not been. So the beneficiaries are saying, that identity of ours, we're bringing it back. It is no surprise that we have Mohamed Kamal, the best soccer player ever out of Sierra and professional from St. Edwards. It's a surprise. Most of the musicians come out of St. Edwards. It's no surprise. myself and many others. But the issue I'm trying to bring here is the St. Johnsons, the Patrick Dangorleys. So many national heroes have come out of St. Edwards. It's no surprise because somebody by design put that in place. Okay. So we want that identity back.
Okay. So before we leave it, sir, what are some of the things that would, kickstart for this? You said this one would be a plan for 5 years, and after 5 years, what else?
Well, the issue is 5 years. We're raising $200,000 a year. And I will have to put this one out there because I don't know. It's important that I do. We started 8 weeks ago. In the space of 8 weeks, over 51 very committed Edwardians have come together and committed $68,000. Of that $68,000, we currently have about $41,000 in hand from Edwardians. I'm talking about Edwardians, not only in the United States, but Edwardians here in this country, in Sierra Leone, because that's where we want to go. If we can raise $200,000 a year, which we should, right, which we're going to, because if we're going for $200,000 in the first year, we have $60,000 in the first 2 months, I think we're on route towards $20,000. If we can do that, it will finance itself over the next 100 years. By the time we get to $1 million, which will be in year 5, our return on investment average about 20 to 25%, which is what endowment funds return anyway. You'll be having about $30,000, $250,000 a year. That is coming on a return on investment that will be directed to the prioritized programs that the steering committee that we're going to put together, 13, that's all inclusive, that's going to determine when they do the need analysis of where the school is going.
Okay.
So the school should be able to finance itself over time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
He is Felix Sandy, chairperson at St. Edward's $1 Million Endowment Outreach.